Our story begins in 1929 in Los Angeles, the same year as the great stock market crash, the first ever Oscar Awards show where Grand Hotel won with Greta Garbo, and the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. Wyatt Earp is living in a small apartment and is 2 months shy of his 81st birthday and is within days of his death. He is visited by an old friend and fellow lawman, Dave Nagel. And they are reminiscing about the Old West, the gunslingers, the women that they knew, the adventures they experienced way back then. They get around to discussing which town in the Old West was really the toughest. Dave tells Wyatt that the toughest of the tough towns was a mining camp nestled in the mountains of southern Nevada, tougher than Tombstone, Bodie, and Deadwood combined. It is said that 72 people met their death and were interned in the town's boot hill before anyone died of natural causes. 60% of all the deaths in the entire state of Nevada came from this one town in the 1870s, a rich boom town called Pioche. The mine owners were having trouble with the surveying and boundary lines of their claims, which were being hotly disputed because of the vast silver discovered on Treasure Hill and in the surrounding countryside. So to protect their interests, they started importing top gunmen from all over the West. As many as 20 hired gunmen a day were arriving in Pioche to help protect the mine owners' interests from claim jumpers and a corrupt court system from stealing their claims. When one young lawyer and his wife got off the incoming stage, at that very moment the sheriff was gunning down 3 desperados across the street. She informed her new husband he could stay if he wished, but she was catching the next stage out of town, back to Chicago. The toughest of all these gunmen and killers was Morgan Courtney. Morgan had killed more than his share of men. He was tough, mean, and invisibly fast with a gun. He had gained his reputation and notoriety for winning the Washington Creole Mining War, another bloody quarrel over the boundary lines of a valuable mining claim. Morgan had dated a true beauty named Georgiana Seyfert and had hopes of winning her heart until she met a young man named James McKinney who had just arrived in town, and she began to see him. Morgan Courtney promptly told McKinney that the town was not big enough for both of them, and McKinney told him he rather liked the town and was planning to stay, but Morgan was free to leave anytime he liked. This set the stage for a dramatic street fight. Morgan, who had personally killed at least 5 men, McKinney, who had single-handedly killed 3 men out of 6 who had drawn on him. Neither could back down, for the love of Georgiana was at stake. The street fight would take place against the backdrop of a town that best represented the wild, wild West. The miners, the Indians, the prostitutes, the gunfighters, among whom may have been the deadliest, the only Jewish gunfighter known at the time, Jim Levy, who won all 16 of his street duels except for the last one. It may have helped if he had been armed. We'll take the audience back to a pristine environment in a young, exciting America, in an era where a gun was the only real law, and you could find and claim a fortune with a bit of luck. Hang on to it if you were tough enough, fast enough, and accurate enough with a Colt 45. Interwoven throughout the picture will be highlights of Wyatt Earp's life, as he represents as well as anyone the Old West and the unique breed of individuals who could single-handedly bring law and order to a town with their ability to handle tough men under extraordinary conditions. Either with their fists or their guns, they could secure the peace and enforce the law. The story of tough men risking it all in the rowdiest, toughest town in the wild, wild West. This then is Tough, Tough Town.